the first section of our Te Araroa journey in Southland.
First off, we had to pack up our gear and also our house. We flew to Invercargill and then hitchhiked down to Bluff. We stayed at the Bluff Lodge and had fish and chips for dinner. The following day we headed off from Stirling Point. We made our way along the coastal track, which was pretty cool scenery. Even some windmills up on the hill there. After 30 k's of road walking, we arrived in Invercargill. Trent a little bit worse for wear as his legs had begun to seize up when we stopped or took a break. Here he is making his way to the dinner table without a spoon. I did go get that for him. Day 2 was mainly along Oriti Beach. Quite similar to 90 Mile Beach, even have Araroa here. Long, flat, shallow beach. A couple of stream crossings. We perched up mid-beach and found a little tent spot. Trent's legs still wreaking havoc, so a bit of an easier day there. From Riverton we headed along Te Haka Beach, pretty pea gravelly. From Colic Bay we headed into the Longwoods. Turnbull Hut had definitely seen some better days. We stayed in this one here, Martin's Hut, with 2 other Te Araroa trampers. We've seen some pretty intense mud up over my knee at one point, and definitely more muddy than Pirongia, which is hard to say. And then a day of forestry roads and farmland. Pretty steep descent into Birchwood Station. Taken to 0 today at Birchwood. Trent's done the washing. We've gone to Nightcaps and restocked at the local store for our next 3 days into Te Anau. And tomorrow we'll be heading off north. Ka kite anō.
Next up was Mount Linton Station, so this was pretty exposed farmland, a couple of hills but also following some farm tracks, so not always as steep as this part. It got super hot in the afternoon, and at about 4 o'clock we found a rare piece of shade and sat down and had a little cat nap. Takatimu, some cool high points, and we can look back and see Bluff in the distance. Approaching Araroa Hut. Pretty pleased not to be crossing this river, but it would have been good to wash out our shoes. One of the many swim bridges to come. Here's the Araroa River. Just near this we found a dock sign that gave us 2 less k's of walking, but an extra 2 hours. Pretty tough day in tussocks, quite difficult to see the next marker, and a bit of swamp, wet underfoot conditions. So although pretty flat terrain, did take us a while to get through these tussocks. Short hitchhike, and we were in Te Anau for a quick resupply and accommodation. We met up with my sister the following day and started the Mavor walkway. Gravel road for most of this day, and still had dry feet by this stage before there was another river crossing 5 minutes away. We stayed in a really groovy hut, kiwi burn. It looks like it was an old homestead. And unfortunately Trent had some water, he filtered it, but anyway he had an upset stomach, so had a day off in Kiwiburn, while me and Rose carried on through Mavora. We had some lovely beach forest, followed by a 4-wheel drive track around the lakes. Also lucky enough to have a couple more swing ridges to get over these bigger rivers. So we stayed in Boundary Hut, which was probably not in as good a condition as Taipo, which was the next one along. Greenstone hut, quite different from the other huts that we'd stayed in. I think this one had 20 bunks and it was full. The warden there did Te Araroa a few years ago. Heading out from Greenstones, it's pretty nice track, more like a highway, well cared for and paved. Trent, he was hitting away 7 minute case until he come across some cattle that were grazing in the area. So we had to follow these out into a big clearing, and then we could pass them. There's about 12, half a dozen cattle.